Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, and this was going to be a full-fledged video response to Joe Big's review of Logan for InfoWars.com, your number one place on the internet to get bull semen that turns the freaking frogs gay. I'm so completely over the joke that is InfoWars. I have been for a while, but this just once again seals the fucking deal with me. You might as well call InfoWars the conspiracy arm wing of the fucking Trump administration, because that's precisely what it is. Joe Biggs, all right, who apparently had quit InfoWars but is now back at InfoWars, reviewed Logan for the website, calling it the anti-Trump movie. And like I said, I was going to do a full-fledged video response to this. The video is 6 minutes, 34 seconds. The first 2.5 minutes of the movie, or the review, are talking about Donald Trump's America and the fight against the wall. The last minute of the review is Alex Jones shilling some kind of male virility fucking drug, or some brain enhancement nootropic bullshit. But then you have like the maybe 2.5 minutes on the middle that actually address the points that Joe was trying to make here, which essentially boils down to this: illegal immigration is good, Canada is good, Trump bad. All because, and this is seriously his signature argument here, in the movie, the key villain is a mutant hunter by the name of Donald Pierce. Now, when I first saw the movie and they said his name Donald, I kind of chuckled to myself because I went, oh great, this is what people are going to fucking attribute to being anti-Donald Trump. Because they like to try to think that Hollywood makes these movies in a vacuum. They like to make these movies, like they watch what's happening in the world, and at that moment, they reshoot things. Like Jack Posobiec and all the fucking other idiots pushing dump Star Wars because of something a writer said on Twitter, and they somehow made themselves believe that the movie was anti-Donald Trump. And if you saw Rogue One, which I'm assuming a lot of you did because it's grossed over $1 billion, you know in no way, shape, or form is that even remotely true. But because the villain of Logan is Donald Pierce, his name is Pierce, not Donald Trump, Pierce, Joe Biggs assumes that it's referring to the 45th president of the United States. Well, Joe, I hate to break it to you. Literally just going to Google and typing in Donald P brings up Pierce as the auto-find. Click on that, and then it immediately tells you a little summary. He was introduced in 1980. Now, unless the fucking creators of that character knew, through reverse osmosis, that Donald Trump was going to be president 37 years later, then shit. Fuck, where the hell is them talking about lotto ticket winnings and everything else? The truth of the matter is this. It's a character that was around for nearly 4 fucking decades, ended up in this movie as part of the story, has nothing to do with the president, but yet you found a way to try to compare the two or connect the two because you literally had nothing else to go on. All right. Then you went on the whole notion of fucking illegal immigration and a bunch of little kids from Juarez, Mexico, sneaking across the border, trying to get to Canada without ever explaining the context of it. Right. You bring up the border wall because there's a couple scenes in the movie where Hugh Jackman goes from Juarez down into El Paso, so on and so forth, and he crosses the border because that's where he's hiding out. All right. It's very much just crossing the wall. You don't ever see a wall. Right. You see a couple people drive by what looks like a line to get out of the country or get in the country chanting USA, which is very much a sentiment that some people hold and have held for a multitude of years. It's not fucking recent, right? So it's just a take on the culture in 2029. It's not 2026, because clearly we've established that you're not paying attention to anything and simply cannot Google shit. It was 2029, Joe. 2029. Yes, and being a mutant is considered illegal, but they've also been bred out of existence. That was part of the whole issue behind the children of the X-23 program. The children that were grown genetically in a lab from stolen DNA from mutants. The children that were trying to be trained to be weapons to use against what other shit, whatever else they could fucking find, that were broken out of, and then were trying to get through America to Canada because that's where they determined Eden was, because of something that somebody had read. So no, it's not Trudeau is great. Nothing to do with that. It's just, this is based on, in the movie, a comic. None of that information is talked about at all. Brings up the whole thing, brings up more shit about him crossing over the border dressed as an ISIS jihadi with the fucking dummy head while waving an ISIS flag, and that he crossed through some fucking open border points down in Arizona or some such shit, right? His entire review of the movie was just to further fucking demonstrate, to him at least, why Donald Trump and the wall are needed. Even though this particular movie was thought of 2 years ago, before Trump even made a fucking run at the presidency, before he even announced he was running. Because the idea for this movie came to Hugh Jackman while he was promoting Chappie, which came out March of 2015. If you would have done any modicum of research about the fucking production of the film, the shooting of the film, the story creation, everything else, you would know this. But you see, this is the problem with people like you, Joe. You're an idiot. And I don't mean that facetiously. I don't mean that comically. I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean you, Joe Biggs of InfoWars.com, are an idiot. You constantly lie to Americans, you sell false narratives, you try to shill your male super serum, because that's how Alex Jones pays the bills, and you are a charlatan, and you are a liar, and you are a faker, and a propagator of fake news. By creating a review that isn't even a review of a movie. It's not even a review. It's you trying to further the ideological narrative that immigration equal bad. And you're trying to put it on kids and say that Hollywood is trying to sell you this shit. This story there is people trying to get through America to get the fuck out to Canada. They ain't trying to stay here. And they're being hunted by a group of people that are trying to track down, and they don't even view them as kids. They are patents. They are experiments. They are creations grown in a lab. To them, not even human being. And they're operating both north of and south of the border. But apparently they can't go into Canada. That was kind of a bit of a plot twist in my mind, or a plot hole in my mind. I thought was kind of funny. It's like, wait, they can go to Mexico, but they can't go to Canada? Okay, whatever. But the point is you missed the point. You missed the point to sell more bullshit. And it's not just you, too. It's the Daily Caller saying that Logan is a perfect example of Obama's America, even though it technically takes place like 12 years after Obama left office and everything else. It's like, no, we're not talking like fucking, we're still feeling the effects of Reaganomics here. All right. Like, it's ridiculous, though, how far the conservatives are going to push these agendas, to push these narratives, that movies coming out of Hollywood are nothing more than subliminal liberal trash, which is not the case at all. Movies can be movies, stories can be stories. Can they overlap in certain elements of time to what's going on? Absolutely. Are they representative of what's going on at the time? Absolutely. But to come out and say that a movie that was created 2 years ago, that was filmed last year, before the election, that was everything already done with the movie, essentially, was an anti-Trump film, very similar to people who are pushing for the dump Star Wars thing, is a false narrative. It's fake news. It's horseshit. But you don't care about the truth. You care about the narrative, which is abundantly clear because you work for InfoWars.com. And like I said, you can dislike this video all you want as a result. InfoWars is a conspiracy arm wing of the Trump administration, as evidenced by the bullshit that comes out of it left and fucking right. But Alex Jones doesn't care because at this point he's laughing all the way to the goddamn bank. And I guess kudos on him for swindling everyone. He claims to tell you the truth, but he's just as full of shit as the rest of the sycophants he fucking employs. Anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check back often for more content from me. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a good day. Peace out.